Boys Town, a charity group founded by the Montfort brothers of St. Gabriel in 1948. It first began as a residential care facility for war-torn orphans, imparting education and different life skills to them. Yes, Boys Town has expanded to provide a continuum of services such as residential, fostering, youth outreach, adventure therapy, and clinical intervention services for underprivileged children and young adults. All of these services make Boys Town a one-stop children and youth center. Boys Town serves both boys and girls, from infants to young adults. It helps children and youths who come from disadvantaged and disengaged families who may have faced recent hardship resulting from difficult home situations such as financial struggles, abandonment, and child abuse. Each year, the annual Boys Town Flag Day is a platform conducted by students from schools of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel. Students would usually head out to different public malls or MRT stations to collect donations from the public. But due to the COVID-19 situation this year, we will be holding the Flag Day virtually for the very first time. We hope that you would give your support to this worthy cause by donating a decent amount and getting your peers to donate as well at www.giving.sg/boystown/virtualflagday2020. You may also access the site through the code shown on the screen. All collected funds and proceeds will go into supporting Boys Town's programs, operations, services, and maintenance of facilities to better benefit the youth residents in Boys Town. Thank you for your kind generosity, making Boys Town a better place for every teen and child to realize their potential. Boys Town is a charity group founded by the Comfort Brothers of St. Gabriel in 1948. It first began as a residential care facility for war-torn orphans, imparting education and different life skills to them. Over the years, Boys Town has expanded to provide a continuum of services such as residential, fostering, youth outreach, adventure therapy, and clinical intervention services for underprivileged children and young adults. All of these services make Boys Town a one-stop children and youth center. Boys Town serves both boys and girls, from infants to young adults. It helps children and youths who come from disadvantaged and disengaged families who may have faced recent hardship resulting from difficult home situations such as financial struggles, abandonment, and child abuse. Each year, the annual Boys Town Flag Day is a platform conducted by students from schools of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel. Students would usually head out to different public malls or MRT stations to collect donations from the public. But due to the COVID-19 situation this year, we're holding the Flag Day virtually for the very first time. We hope that you would give your support this worthy cause by donating a decent amount and getting your peers to donate as well at www.sg/boystown/virtual flag day 2020. You also access the site through the QR code shown on screen. All collected funds and proceeds will go into supporting Boys Town's programs, operations, services, and maintenance of facilities to better benefit the youth residents in Boys Town. Thank you for your kind generosity in making Boys Town a better place for every teen and child to realize their potential.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Assumption English School. Okay, my name is Dennis. Okay, I'm the assistant year head for lower secondary. All right, and then today we'll be doing our virtual open house. All right, so AES, virtual open house. All right, so Assumption English School for short, AES. And we'll be starting very shortly. But before we begin, okay, so you here on the screen, you see the schedule for today's session. All right, and there is also a Google form for you to post to us any questions that you have. And the link is also available on the YouTube page itself. All right. And before we begin, I'm sure that many of you are very keen to find out a little bit more about our school facilities. Okay, so we'll just show you a video first from our student counselors.
Hello, I'm Kaylin and this is Atika. Hi. Your first time in our campus?
Yes, it is. It looks very big.
Come, we'll show you around. But before that, please take your temperature and do the same scan. Welcome to our school library. Please write your name down and sanitize your hands. Don't worry, I'll help you to write your name. What I really love about our school library is the space. The tables, chairs, and air conditioning create the perfect environment for many of us to study in after school.
Totally. Sometimes we even have lessons consultation with teachers here. Wow, that's nice. It's so spacious. Even couches here. I look forward to studying here with my friends after school.
Yep, there's a wide range of books of different genres in this room. Inside we have newspapers and magazines. Welcome to ASC Cabin. ASC stands for After School Engagement. Here, students can come and take a break from studies, play games, and bond with each other. There are workshops conducted here from time to time for the students to learn new skills. Meet their Jason, Chimastro. Let's go
Welcome to our AES soccer field. Do you know the under 15 national football team actually trains on this very field each week?
Yes, because of our field, we have many activities here as a school.
Do you remember last year? We had water soccer and the Assumptionites challenge that ended off with the slide down the inflatable castle.
Yeah, I had so much fun with my classmates splashing around. Remember when our teacher joined us in the Assumption Night Challenge as well? Great bonding time with them too.
And of course, besides the school activities, our soccer and softball CCA sessions are also conducted here.
Also offers judo as a CCA, and we even have a special room called the dojo for the judokas to train in. A very warm welcome Our training may be tough, but that's what makes us judokas all the more stronger. I appreciate how we cheer one another up when some parts of the training seem difficult. That often gives me the motivation to continue on. So let's take a look at how we train. Let me show you another relaxing spot around school. He's at the counseling. Hi, Mr. Chan.
Hello there. What are you up to?
We're bringing our new friend around school.
Oh, hi. If you know someone who is going through a pack and you're listening here, you feel drop by my office.
Mr. Chen is our school counselor. In AES, we have 2 school counselors, an allied educator for learning behavioral support, and a student welfare officer. All of them are very approachable. We are really fortunate to have Mr. Chen in our school.
Oh, you're welcome. And feel free to drop by if you want to.
Sure, we will. We'll catch up with you later.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Once again, we welcome you. Okay. And my name is Dennis. We at AES are very glad that all of you are able to join us today, parents and students. Okay. If you have just joined us and you have questions for us, please refer to the link in the YouTube description. All right. It'll bring you to a Google form and then you can just type your question and we'll be able to address the question later on in the Q&A. For now, I'll pass the time to our principal, Mr. Benjamin Kwok. Okay, he will share with you a little bit more about our school. Mr. Kwok, please.
Hi everyone, especially to our parents and students. Firstly, I want to congratulate all the P6 students for completing your primary school education. All right, so now you can look forward to secondary school, learn to be more independent, more self-directed, and really to discover, all right, your passion and interests. Before I continue, maybe I'll bring you over, all right, to say hi to my vice principal. Just give me a second. Okay, first of all, I have my vice principal, Miss Wong Kersin. All right, Miss Wong.
Everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
All right, so that's Miss Wong. I go over to the other vice principal. Okay, this is my vice principal for administration,
Hello,
Mr. Craig.
everyone. Welcome to
All right, so this is the school leadership team. All right, so now I'm going back to my room and then we'll continue with the presentation. All right. So indeed, This slide here is our school. It's really a beautiful school. All right, it's about 5 years old. 5 years old since it went through prime. Some upgrading about 5 years ago. So the facilities are relatively new, very beautiful as you can see from the picture itself. All right, next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So the next slide, we're going to talk about our school identity, because sometimes there's a bit of a confusion because we are situated in a very large compound. All right, and this large compound is actually the Boys Town community. Now, within this large compound, there's actually three different organizations. All right, so from this slide itself, you can see, first of all, we have Assumption English School, founded in 1953. All right, and then we have Assumption Pathway School, founded in 1938. And of course, we have the Boys Town Boarding Home, founded in 1948. Now, back to Assumption English School. We function as a typical secondary school, offering the O levels as well as the N levels. So we function as a typical secondary school. All right, next year we'll be having 7 classes. 7 classes. Largely, it will be 4 express, 2 normal academic, and 1 normal technical class. All right. Now, there's sometimes a bit of a confusion between Assumption English School and Assumption Pathway because of the name Assumption. We share the same name. For Assumption Pathway, basically, it functions as a vocational school. Function as a vocational school for students after their PSLE. They require a different kind of curriculum, a more hands-on curriculum. So they will learn things like baking, culinary, hospitality, things like that. All right. So it is a specialized independent school separated from Assumption English. So it is actually 2 different schools. Then, of course, we have Boys Town. Boys Town is basically a residential home, all right, for boys who come from disadvantaged families. All right, from disadvantaged families. So some of them stays away in Boys Town. Some of them are fostered out as well to foster families. All right. Now, there's a bit of confusion between Boys Town and Boys Home as well. Many a times people ask, isn't Boys Town same as Boys Home? It's actually different. So Boys Home function as a place of detention, all right, for juvenile rehabilitation. So in other words, you have youth offenders, all right, boys who have committed offense, they will go to Boys Home. And that is in Jurong West. So Boys Town is different. It is in Upper Bukit Timah part, and really it is in 2 separate different locations. So for the 3 institutions that is in the Boys Town community, all right, we have our own staff, we have our own different buildings, we have our own different curriculum as well. All right. So just information for parents and students, because we do know many a times people are confused. Okay, next slide. We get questions about why the name Assumption as well. And what's the meaning of Assumption? Basically, Assumption is because of the devotion that we have for Mother Mary. In other words, the mother of Jesus. Now, why this devotion? Because we feel that Mother Mary was assumed up to heaven, body and soul. And because the school is founded by the Montfort brothers of St. Gabriel's, they were formed in France, actually in 1711, many years ago. All right, and for them, the patron saint is Saint Louis Marie de Montfort, who has this special devotion towards Mother Mary, and therefore the brothers as followers also have this special devotion. And because our school is founded by these brothers, the Montfort brothers of St. Gabriel, and therefore we adopted the name Assumption. So therefore we have Assumption English School, this name. So our school affiliation. All right, as can be seen from the slides, we are affiliated to CJC. So for parents and students who are interested in the JC pathway, the JC route, after you leave secondary school education, all right, CJC is affiliated, so therefore you will enjoy, all right, some bonus points. Then the other schools that's affiliated to us, we have the St. Gabriel's Primary, St. Gabriel's Secondary, Montfort Junior, Montfort Secondary, and of course Assumption Pathway School. So these are the school affiliation. Now the Assumption Schools is not only just in Singapore, it's actually an international network of schools. But in particular, the Assumption Schools in Thailand is quite close to us. So every year there's visits, all right, from the Assumption Schools from Bangkok, as well as the Assumption Schools from Chiang Mai as well. So just to let the parents and students know about this fact. Okay, next slide. So our school vision, all right, is to produce men and women of character and learning in the service of God and the community. So this is very important, in the service of God and the community. So it's always about others, serving others. How do we do this? All right, we want to educate our students in the Montfortian spirit of learning, charity, and love. All right, so the ethos, the beliefs of Montfort, St. Louis Marie de Montfort is important to us. Later, I will tell a story, a short one, about Montfort itself. All right, and then of course our school values, we call it the Christ values for compassion, humility, respect, integrity, sense of responsibility, and trust. So character and values is important. So besides getting a good education, character formation values is a very strong and important part, aspect of school in Assumption English. So next slide. So just to let everyone know that indeed Assumption English is a Catholic school, and therefore we do have Catholic activities more for our Catholic students. All right, but there are some activities which is for the whole school, part of the school routine. For the non-Catholic students, they do not need to participate, but they need to be around respectfully, just to take note of what's happening. All right, but generally, most of the activities are for Catholic students. For example, every morning, we have our daily morning prayers and reflection. So the Catholic students will say their morning prayer. And what I normally would advise the other students from other faiths is to pause a moment while we're saying this prayer, pause a moment to think about your own faith, think about your own God as well, to show gratitude for the day that you have ahead of you. So that's something that we do in a daily basis. All right. And it's a good reminder for our students to really show gratitude to their own faith and to their own God as well. And for each year, we celebrate Mass, all right, 3 times a year, start of the year, and another one during the Founders' Day, and the final Mass for the end of the year. All right, and then we also have our Faith Alive Fellowship program, which is mainly for the Catholic students on Fridays, and this followed by the Young Montfortian Associates. This is a CCA for Catholic students, compulsory for all segment Catholic students. And then there's an overseas retreat as well for the Sec 3 students. But we also have a whole cohort trip as well, a whole cohort trip for whole of Sec 2 students. All right, they go overseas. Before the COVID virus, we normally go to Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. All right, but looking ahead, if indeed if we do have any overseas trips, it will be closer to home, likely in Malaysia. All right, so that's the plan. All right, but just want to say that as a school, although it's a Catholic school, we are very inclusive. All right, we embrace all religion, all races. In fact, just to let everyone know, in terms of faith, we have 20%, 21% of students who believe in the Buddhist faith, and then we have about 18% Muslims, and for Hindus, we have about 6%. All right, so this is the diversity that we have in school, and we really embrace everyone. Next, part of our unique school program, we have the ALP, Applied Learning Program. We call it the SPEAK program, Speak English with Grace and Knowledge. And I feel that this program is very important. Without competency of the English language, we're not going to be future ready. All right, so this is a very important program, and I must admit that this is something which we are very proud of. So for our Sec 1 students, they will produce book trailers, little videos to represent books that they have read. And then at Sec 2, every single student will get a chance to read the news, in front of the whole school. All right, so that's very exciting for the students. And then at Sec 3, they will also run campaigns. They will run campaigns to fight for their social causes and so forth, to convince people, about why they believe in this particular social cause. All right, it could be the environment, it could be food, it could be anything. All right, so that's very exciting for them as well. And we do have debates as well. So debates within the school is a very important part of our school program. Next slide. As an extension to the SPEAK program, this year we actually introduced, filmmaking, especially for our Sec 2 students. But of course, because of the COVID virus, only selected students were involved. So we actually got external professional trainers, instructors on filmmaking, all right, to teach our Sec 2 students on how to make short films, all right, with using their handphones only. So only using their handphones to produce short films. So that was pretty exciting. All right, the themes was about school, about their CCA, about bullying, about Boys Town, anything. All right, so that was done. And we had the festival on the 20th of November. All right, just recently we had this. All right, so this is something our students will look forward to from this year onwards. Next. So learning is always authentic. All right, it's not always in the classroom. The students will go out of the classroom and then they will learn, whether it is mathematics or sciences or other subjects. For example, for mathematics and sciences, they'll learn how to make a kite, fly a kite, as well as create paper planes as well, to learn about aerodynamics. All right, mathematics and sciences concepts based on all these authentic experiences. So these are small little things that they have done, all right, that they will do in school. Next. So another thing that is very important is our lifelong learning program, all right, or Learning for Life program, LLP. So in this particular program, which is very unique to us, it's really about leadership. All right, it's about leadership, and we call it the Dinun Leadership Program. Why Dinun? I said earlier on that I wanted to tell you a story about Montfort. So maybe I'll tell it to everyone right now. Dinun, it's because of this place in France, and it's called Dinun. And for Montfort, all right, this particular saint, he was coming back after a long, hard day, late at night. He encountered a sick, destitute person, all right, lying by the roadside. So he carried him, all right, back to the priest's house, And he wanted to look after him, to nurture him back to health. So because it was very late, as he knocked on the door, the housekeeper didn't respond, didn't really hear it. So Montfort had to shout at the top of his voice, all right, open the door to God. He shouted, open the door to God. Of course, when the housekeeper heard that, he panicked, he was shocked, and he was traumatized. But we may be wondering, why did Montfort say, open the door to God? Why did he say that? Right, the reason why Montfort said that is because the sick, it's not because he felt that he was God, but the person that he was caring. For Montfort, when he sees the sick, the destitute, the marginalized, all right, the last, the lost, and the least, when he sees these people, he sees the face of God. And therefore, he feels that we have to honor everyone, including the last, the lost, as well as the least. So this is something that we teach all our students. In fact, we remind all our teachers as well. This is about serving others. All right. So our leadership program is named after the place, all right, Montfort in Dinun. It's about being a leader, we need to serve as well. All right. So in terms of service, our students, all right, they maybe through the science curriculum, they will also lead other students. All right, in terms of the science curriculum, and recently we have done that, leading students from Montfort, St. Gabriel's as well as Assumption Pathway through some science program organized by us. And also our students are able to show their leadership by championing, all right, environmental efforts in school, outside of school, as well as overseas if they travel overseas. And then part of the Dinu Leadership Program, next slide, It's about being involved in the Boys Town Flag Day as well as the St. Gabriel's Foundation Flag Day. Some of us may think that, Flag Day, what's the big deal? But I truly believe that Flag Day is a very important event where we really build resilience in our students as well as ourselves. I joined the school in 2018, and that was really the first time for me to be involved in Flag Day. And when I saw how the students and my teachers were doing, I was really so inspired. Of course, I was very worried as well because it is not easy to go through Flag Day and approaching people and to be rejected time and time and again. And you have to pick yourself up and to be courageous enough to approach strangers again. All right, all for a good cause. And I'm very proud of the fact that my students and my teachers, they do it very, very well, all for a good cause. And I feel that through this, they build good character as well, good leadership character as well. Next slide. So we come to the part about CCAs, which many of the students as well as parents are very interested in what the school has to offer. So for sports and games, we come to sports and games first. We have basketball, floorball, football, judo, as well as softball. Basketball, football, and judo, they are DSA sports, but it doesn't, we will select students, all right, from the whole Sec 1 cohort. It's not just for DSA students only, but we'll select students from the whole cohort to see who is best suited or who is interested in this 3 DSA sports. And for basketball, I must say that the school has been very strong in it. And in 2018, as well as 2019, we actually produce students for each year to actually represent Singapore, all right, in the youth games itself. All right, so we're very proud of that. All right, so in 2018 and 2019, we produce a student for each year to represent Singapore. So that's the kind of development we are able to do for budding basketball players. For football, our current coach, our current football coach is also the national team under 15 coach as well. You would have heard about it in the earlier video. So highly qualified, the national coach being our own coach also. And because of this, the under 15 national team also train in our school. So hopefully it inspires our students also, especially those who are very interested in football. All right, and for judo, actually, the current national team, some of the judokas, all right, they do come from Assumption English School actually. All right, I think there are 2 of them currently still in the national team that were our students. So next we have our uniform groups. So we have our NCC. Our NCC is not land-based, but it's sea. NCC C. So you would expect more water activities for NCC. So that's quite exciting. We also have our NPCC, our Girl Guides, as well as Red Cross. Most of our units, our UGs are distinction as well as gold units. So they perform very well. Next slide. We have our performing arts. All right, we have our choir, we have our concert band, and then we have our dance ensemble as well. And they've done very well, achieving in the SYF certificate of accomplishment as well as commendation. And then next one, club and societies. We have our English language, drama, and society. All right, so we have our drama group as well as our debating team. All right, part of the ELDDS. All right, and they are very active. And then for SYF in the drama, they achieve a certificate of accomplishment as well. All right, and debate is a very strong activity, very important activity for ELDDS, and they normally compete quite well. All right, at the various debating competitions. Now, of course, we have our Green Club. So the next slide for parents as well as students will be very interested to know. So where do our students go? Or what are they eligible for when they leave us, after the national exams? So I'll pause here for a while just to let parents and students have a look. So for our 4 express students, for the O levels, 45% of them are eligible for JC. And then 87.9% eligible for polytechnic. for our 5 normal academic students where they return after their normal stream exams, all right, they return to take their O levels, 71.4%. All right, eligible for polytechnic. So that's wonderful results. Then for 4NA, after the normal academic NA exams, right, qualifying for Sec 5 is about 76.6%. Wonderful results. And our 4NT eligible for ITE, 100%. So student outcomes. At the end of it all, what do we aspire and hope for our students? We want them to show a sense of fortitude, sense of mastery, a sense of charity. Why fortitude? We want them to show determination and courage in the midst of much challenge, all right, and difficulties. So this is what our students want in our students. And mastery, a sense of wanting to be the best that they can be, all right, in terms of their skills, in terms of their knowledge, all right, in terms of whatever they want to do, all right, to constantly want to improve themselves. And a sense of charity, all right, that heart and love for others, to help others, especially those who are in need. And this is so important, right, looking ahead now as well as in the future. So this is what we want to see in our students. So who are our alumni? You may be wondering. You know, when the students leave AES, what do they become? This slide, you have a look. All right, you have a sportsman. All right, his name is Lee Wang Yu. Those of you who are very into our local sports, it may be a familiar face, a familiar name. All right, an Olympian shooter, multiple gold medalists as well for SEA Games in the game of shooting, the sport of shooting. All right, so that's Lee Wang Yu. He actually graced our school sports day as a guest of honor. And the person in the middle, do you recognize her? Do you recognize her? I'm sure many of you would recognize her. She's Vanetta Lopez, quite a famous TV and radio personality. You probably hear her on radio, I think, almost every day. She's also an alumni of AES. In fact, last year, she came back to organize an MCing course for our students. How about the person on the right? Look at the t-shirt. Do you recognize the t-shirt? It says Carousel. Who is this person? His name is Marcus Tan. All right, a very you would know about this app, Carousel, all right, formed by 3 young adults, and he is one of the founders of Carousel, and his name is Marcus Tan, and he's also an alumni of Assumption English School. Of course, we have many others alumni who are contributing to society, and they are very successful in their own way, but these are the 3 I thought I would just highlight to everyone, all right. So, we have the next slide. All right. Yeah. So we have our virtual open house, which is what you're going through right now. There's 2 more days, one tomorrow and one on Monday. So I'm going to just show you at the back end what's happening. You know, the people that makes this virtual open house happen. So I'm going to just bring you through. All right, we're going to reach the conference room. All right, these are the staff and teachers that make today's virtual open house happen. All right, can everybody say hello? Hi, everyone. Can smile or not? I know lah, difficult. Of course, you're wearing your face mask. Okay, so with this, I just want to thank everyone for joining us for this virtual open house. This is the first part of it. Later on, we're going to have our Q&A session. So I see you in a while.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kwok. Okay. All right, and we are going to proceed with our Q&A segment. Okay, so over here, on the screen, you see 2 lovely ladies. Okay, these ladies, they are our parent volunteers. Okay, Miss Lenny and Miss Lily. Okay, and we see one handsome gentleman at the bottom right. That will be Mr. Keith Kaliha. All right, he's our alumni from the class of 2014, and right below me, okay, there's Torana. Okay, he's also an alumni as well. Okay, maybe, so we will just have some Q&A with our parents and our alumni, and maybe we'll just start off with a question to the parents first. All right, to Miss Lenny and Miss Lily. Okay, so their children are in secondary 1 now, moving on to secondary 2. maybe will the two of you like to share with us one thing that you appreciate most about the school?
Okay, hi. My name is Lily from the Parent Support Group. So I think the things that I appreciate about the school is more on like the support that my kids gets from the teachers and the principal. So when he first like started to go to secondary school, is a transitions from primary school to secondary school. Right? I can see that the transitions is really like very smooth for him, and he enjoys going to the school. So this is something, and going to school is actually something that he looks forward to lah.
All right,
Yeah,
how about
so the
Miss Danny?
experience, yeah, actually I agree with Lily. My daughter, she's in Set 1 and she's from a girls' school and she transit into a co-ed school. So I do have some worries about how she will cope in a co-ed environment, but she's coping pretty well. And she also look forward to going to school and she likes her teacher very much. So that is something that I really appreciate.
Okay, so maybe you can share with us a little bit more. So you have been with us for 1 year. So how have the perceptions about the schools changed, having seen your child develop over this 1 year?
Okay, so perception of the school. So earlier, I was particularly concerned about the affiliation to APS and also to the Boys Town. But I think the worry is actually not there. Actually, I think
Okay, so Miss Lady has to receive a phone call. Miss Lily, you want to share with us how has your perceptions about the school changed?
I think from my end, because we are very new to the school and like what the principal has like mentioned earlier, we belongs to that 20% who are Buddhist. So we are a little bit worried about the Catholic engagement that you have in the school. But so far, I can see that my son actually learns more about the other religion, and he's not
I see.
resistant to this. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, maybe we have some questions for our alumni as well. Okay, so Keith and Torana, coincidentally, they were schoolmates, same batch, and right now they're actually classmates as well. They are both studying in NUS Civil Engineering. So maybe just a question for the two of you. Maybe you want to just describe one memorable moment you have back in school.
Donna, you want to go first?
Okay, Torana, we can't hear you. So maybe Keith, you want to try first while Torana fixes his issues?
Sure, sure. I think for me, a memorable example was going on an overseas trip to Malaysia with my student counselor peers. And I think that was a very memorable part of my secondary school because it has taught me a lot. And I learned a lot of I learned a lot of leadership skills from that camp, which has helped me until today.
All right. So how do you think AES have changed you?
Wow. So AS has been a key point in my growth and my maturity as a teenager, and it has really taught me to be ambitious and adventurous. The school has also taught me to go beyond my comfort zone and increase my potential. And I've seen myself applying the lessons I've learned and the skills I've learned in AES to onwards, which is in JC, in NS, and even in uni right now. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Keith. Torana, you're back. You want to try say something to us?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the good experience memory I have from Assumption would be the Japan exchange program. So like the students, they managed to partner with a high school in Japan, and some of the students came over and we hosted them in our homes. And at the end of the year, we went over to Japan to stay in their homes, and it was a very good experience. And the school is always providing us with opportunities like that to do something outside of academics.
Great. I wish we could travel overseas right now. Okay, maybe we have a question for the parents. So in the meanwhile, audience, if you have questions, you just type in the Google form. So a question for the parents. You have to do, was AES the choice school for you and your child after the PSLE?
Okay, for me, it wasn't. It's one of our choices, but not the top choice. But I think. Do you want to know the reason why it became one of the choices? It is actually
Yeah.
mainly because of what Mr. Pop mentioned earlier about the affiliation to CJC, and also because we came from a mission school, so the mission culture and the environment was also important for us.
All right, then I think for me, right, I actually took a look at the results of my son. So based on the PSLE results that he has, I made a comparisons against the other schools that he can actually make it into. Then after some comparison, I think AES should be the right one because it's nearer to us, it's near to the MRT, and we came to the open house and we kind of like the school very much.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Miss Lily. Yeah, so for those of you who are not sure, AES is right beside Cashew MRT. So maybe one question for Torana and Keith again. Uh, Very important. Do you regret coming to AES?
Oh,
No,
definitely no.
no,
No,
no.
it's
Why not? Why not?
yeah. The teachers were really amazing. They actually had a huge impact in like the future things that I was gonna do because their classroom teaching was good. It built a good foundation for JC and university.
For me, wow, secondary school was a very good time, and yeah, like what Torana said, the teachers here are very caring and very approachable. And up till today, I still find time to go and share my achievements with my teachers because they are the ones that built me up. I actually came back to Assumption to teach as well because I was very inspired by my teachers, Mr. Wang being one of them. And but yeah, just very, it's a very, very good place to learn and mature as a teenager.
Yes, I remember some wonderful memories with Keith and especially with Torana. I had a very interesting incident with him in Sec 2, but that shall be a story for another day. Okay, maybe one last question for the parents. What will you, okay, Miss Lenny, Miss Lily, what will you tell parents who are contemplating whether to send their children to AES right now?
Um, I think that selecting AES should be is a good choice. I think for me, most importantly, my daughter is happy. She's looking forward to going to school. She's enjoying the CCA. She has developed friendship. She has quite a few good friends. So that is the most important for me. That ultimately the choice is something that she likes and she's happy coming to school.
Okay. Then I guess for me, right, adding on to what Lenny she has mentioned earlier, I think the support from the teachers and the schools is very important, and we can like see the kind of support so far.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so thank you to our two very lovely parent volunteers, Miss Lenny, Miss Lily, and our two very handsome gentlemen, our alumni, okay, Keith and Torana. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I would like to just say goodbye to y'all. All right, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you.
Okay, and moving on. All right, we will move on to another Q&A segment, and this time is with our principals, right, and also our key personnel. All right, and to those of you who have questions for us, you can just post the questions on the YouTube link under the description. All right, you just post the questions and we'll try to answer the questions as much as possible. Okay, so maybe we just have start off with one of the very simple questions first. I'll just answer it myself. How many Sec 1 classes will there be next year? And you know what's the size of each class? Okay, so actually next year we will have 7 classes in secondary 1. Okay, 4 in express, 2 in NA, and one in normal technical. All right, and each class usually will have about 35 students. Okay, so and it also depends on the choice of the parents. All right, so but plus minus it should be about 35 students per class around there. Okay, and I have another question. So maybe this one I'll direct it to Mr. Kwok. Okay, so and I think this although it has been answered earlier, maybe just want to re-emphasize. So what are some of the faith and character formation platforms currently available at the school?
Mm. Uh, so if we talk about the character education, it's definitely very important for us. We do follow the CCE curriculum by the ministry. I will not touch on that. But if we talk about what the school has to offer in terms of character education, for each level, we actually anchor on a particular story of Montfort itself. All right. So if let's say we talk about the story of Montfort in Dinoon just now, when I mentioned earlier on, all right, about reaching out to those who are sick, the destitute, and that's something that we believe in. So that is for Sec 1. Sec 2, there's this story about Montfort in rain. All right. And it's about standing up to those who are being bullied. All right. So that's about the story of Montfort standing up to those who really need the help. All right. So and then there's another story of Montfort in Poitiers. All right. That's for Sec 3, about reaching out to those that people do not reach out at all. Because in this particular story of Montfort and Poitiers, it's a large town, but it is hugely divided. One side, the very rich, and one side, the very poor. And in the past, nobody would bother about the poor. But for Montfort, when he came into this town, he really reached out to them. All right, and therefore, it's about reaching out to those who really don't have access. All right, to resources and so forth. And then the fourth story is about Montfort in the Sesson Bridge. This story tells us that when Montfort was traveling up to Paris, when he crossed the bridge, this Sesson Bridge in France, he gave up all his belongings, so that he can serve, all right, society, serve the community. So that's something we teach our Sec 4 students. Beyond just preparing for the national exams, all right, it's about you. What can you do to make a difference to the community, to society? All right. So basically, in terms of character education, in terms of the values, it is quite strongly anchored, all right, on our founding saint, Saint Louis Marie de Montfort. Then, of course, if let's say for Catholic students, there's greater opportunities to learn a little bit more about the faith, all right, about Montfort itself, its beliefs, values, and so forth. But that's more for the Catholic students. But generally, at large, what I've described from Sec 1 to 4, you will see that although the context is based on the founding saint, but the values are all universal. And something which I always remind the teachers and students is those whom the world rejects must move you the most. It must move you the most. So I think it is so relevant for us now, all right, especially in society where we have to look out for each other, uh, uh, not just those who we are comfortable with, but those that really the marginalized, those that sometimes we feel very uncomfortable to help. If we feel uncomfortable to help, it means we must help. All right. That's my personal motto as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kwok. All right. So for those of you who just joined us, that was our principal. Okay. And on the top right of the screen, we have Mrs. Chong. That's our HOD Mathematics. On the bottom left, we have Miss Wong. That's our vice principal. And we have another question. So this question is with regards to the English syllabus as well. So the question is, okay, how is the English syllabus adapted to the normal acad and normal tech students across the 4 years? And there was also one more question. All right. What's the rate of students transiting from normal to express stream? So Mrs. Chong, would you like to answer the question, please?
All right, hi everyone. This is Mrs. Chong, HOD for Mathematics. Regarding the first question, the EL syllabus, we take a reference from the national syllabus. So the national syllabus is available on the SEAB website, and in that syllabus, we have clearly the Express, the NA, and the NT syllabus stated there. I believe that if you go to the SEAB website, you'll be able to see the description of the syllabus. SEAB stands for Singapore Examination and Assessment Board. Okay, as for the second question about the rate of NA student transiting to Express, I believe you mean to say that how many students from one NA will be eligible to transfer to 2 Express? Okay, so the promotion criteria for lateral transfer to 2 Express, we'll look at the end of year results, and it has to be a 70% or higher in the overall combined average. And each year we have a handful of students who are eligible. Some take up the offer and some do not, because some students who do not take up the offer, they prefer to learn at a slower pace, because at the end of Sec 5 or Sec 4 NA, there's also other avenues to proceed to the polytechnic.
Shih Hun, Eileen is still there, right? Is she with you?
She's not with us at the moment.
Oh, not with you. Okay, okay.
All right, so maybe we move on to the question. Maybe this question I will direct to Miss Wong, our vice principal. So actually, the question is quite cute. What are the teenage challenges faced by students, and how do we manage these challenges? Miss Wong, you want to unmute yourself first?
Sorry. Hi, good afternoon, parents and students. I think it's a transition period, especially for the P6. Already. All right. Transit from primary school to secondary schools. Firstly, in terms of academic learning, from 4 subjects to almost double. All right. Then in terms of the adjustment required will be we have to teach our students time management and also certain self discipline in terms of setting certain routines. So in our school, in the classrooms during lessons, our teachers will emphasize more on establishing the learning routines. All right. And then at the same time, how the students would adjust will also be the CCA. And of course, the day may be slightly longer. Okay, so to us, is a form of teaching our students to also learn independently. Okay, so if you were to ask me what are the advice that we can have for our students is number one is be open to learning in secondary school. And by getting to know new friends, all right, they can actually learn about themselves. It's a journey of self-discovery, I would say, in the teenage period. And of course, our teachers here are ever ready to help them. Okay, and in our school, generally, our students are quite vocal, and they would actually approach our teachers, even though not all of them teaches them. All right, and they will go through even school leaders along the corridor. They are fine questioning us or raising certain concern. That is something that we welcome, and that's what we have actually been creating that environment to our students.
Hey, thank you, Miss Wong. Okay, over here we have a parent asking a question about subject-based banding. Okay, so this parent would like to know the selection criteria for the child to qualify for SBB. So, Mrs. Chong, maybe you would like to take this question.
Okay, if your child scores a PSLE grade of A star and A, if she's in the normal academic course, she can take a subject at the express level. So for if your child is in the normal tech course, A star or A, then you can offer the subject at express or NA level. If your child score B, C, or foundation grade 1, then your child will be eligible to offer the subject at NA level. There's also another question where in the form that to ask whether the school offer triple science at Sec 3 and 4. Yes, we do. We do have a class of triple science. Throughout the Sec 2 year, there will be subject briefings. So HODs or the subject coordinators will come into class to brief about, to inform students about the subject, okay, what to expect of that subject. There will also be form teachers taking charge of telling students about career guidance during character and citizenship education lessons. That is our MAP lessons. So throughout the year, we will tell the students what to expect, and then you can work towards the goal for a certain subject at the end of Sec 2. Yeah, so it's not just a one-off exercise where they just choose a subject after the exam, but through the year there will be subject briefings and career guidance given.
Okay, so thank you, Mrs. Chong. All right, we have a next question. AES is a Catholic school. Okay, so does this affect the learning experience of non-Catholic students in the school? So, Mr. Kwok, over to you.
Uh, it does not affect the educational experience of the non-Catholic students. Absolutely not. Like what I mentioned earlier on, actually, uh, uh, Catholic students only make up a minority actually. All right, majority are actually non-Catholic students. So as I've mentioned earlier on, we embrace everyone. Everyone is important for us. We do not see students in the sense that, oh, you're Catholic or non-Catholic and so forth. Every child is important. I say again, every child is important. That's the way we approach it. In fact, if you look at the teacher population, all right, in terms of the religion for our teachers as well, the majority is actually non-Catholics as well. But at the same time, I think because it is a Catholic school, therefore the routines, the practices, there are strong Catholic features, but definitely what we want to draw from it are the universal values, all right, and to appreciate the beauty of religion, the beauty of faith, whether it is the Catholic faith or other faiths. All right, that's something we want to teach our students. Therefore, I mentioned earlier on about the morning prayer, that it is a chance for all students to show gratitude to their own faith, to their own faith. So coming back to the teaching and learning part, I there is no distinction at all. You do not lose out in any way. It is the same for everyone. All right. It is the same for everyone. The teaching and learning from the teachers to the students is the same. So there is no extra lesson only for a particular group of students or whatever. If there's any extra lesson, it is because the student requires it. All right, and how our curriculum is delivered, yeah, every student is the same. All right, for all. Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kwok. Okay, another question incoming. This is with regards to CCA. Okay, so when is CCA day and what's the commitment level like for the students in general? All right, so maybe I'll take this question myself. In AES, okay, we have a CCA day where most CCAs do take place. So that will be on Tuesdays afternoon. All right, so Tuesday afternoon, most CCAs happen around at Tuesday. But there will be some exceptions. For example, football and judo. Okay, football and judo they have CCAs on Mondays as well as on other days. For example, I'm a football teacher. Okay, so football is on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. All right, and for other sports, similarly, very similar. They will have CCA 2 to 3 times a day. Okay, for UGs and clubs, usually they have it once a week, and maybe for the uniform groups, sometimes the CCA can happen on the Saturdays when they have HQ activities. All right, and for performing arts, so they usually have CCAs about twice a week. Okay, but it also depends on the CCA itself. Okay, so we have time maybe for just one last question. Okay, so this parent would like to find out on the leadership opportunities available for the students. All right, so this question, maybe Miss Wong, maybe you want to
Right. Reading conducted in a group. Can you hear me? Is it clear? Because my screen is being frozen. Okay. So
Now,
within the class,
yeah, it looks
all
okay
right,
now.
there's opportunity for them to work in a
now then
group.
we hear you.
Yes. Okay. All right. So back to when parents are concerned about the leadership development for every child in school. Within the class, the students can lead in group discussion, and then from there we build their confidence. And likewise, in the class, we do have class leaders where they actually have been identified um, by the teachers as well as self-nominated, and then from which elected by the class. Okay, so these students, we call the class leaders, they will go through some compulsory training whereby they will learn how to lead and guide their classmates. And some of them serve as peer supporters. Okay, then beyond the classroom, what are the platforms that the students can build their leadership would be through CCAs and sports. So these are the students who actually shows the proficiency and confidence. So they are able to lead their juniors or as well as being the team leaders. Then when they hit Sec 2, all right, they go through this leadership training, and then from which we will then also select uh, kind of like a prominent ones, all right, where we will formally kind of like appoint them to be our student counselor. And in some schools, we call them the prefects. Okay, so again, within the student counselor, they play different roles as well. Not only organizing certain school events for their student population, they also advocate certain self-initiated projects like even the VIA on their own. Okay, so they will probably share their proposal with the teachers, and then they are able to uh, implement it within the school, if not beyond. So I hope that has answered the parents. So we have platforms for formal as well as informal leadership.
Can I just add on? In fact, for let's say we're talking about formal leadership and you're talking about students going for appointment to be the chair, president, vice president of the student council. The students' voice is is can be heard clearly in the sense that they will campaign for themselves, for their friends, to fight for the position and so forth, and they form teams. All right, they form teams to support their friends, in fighting for this particular appointment. So these are things that will happen in school itself. But at the same time, the informal leadership opportunities, like what I mentioned, part of the SPEAK program, our ALP program, many students will get a chance to be the MC for school events. So for us, we do not just pick one or two students for all school events. So many a times you see many different kind of students, all right, from various classes. All right, they'll be identified to be the MCs for various school events. So that's something very amazing. And then part of the ALP as well, they'll be selected to represent their class to recite poetry as well. All right, so these are really a lot of informal leadership opportunities actually for our students. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kwok. Okay, thank you, Miss Wong and Mrs. Chong as well. Okay, we have come towards the end of our live engagement session today. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. So on the screen right now, there is a QR code. Okay, so we will appreciate your all right providing us some feedback through our feedback form. Okay, and if you have questions that are unanswered, I tell you a secret. You just join us tomorrow. Okay, 11 a.m., 3 p.m., same timing. Okay, maybe we will be able to answer your questions this time around. Okay, if you have joined us midway, okay, just visit our school website for more information. Okay, and with this, I will leave you with the two closing videos, okay, just to introduce you a little bit more to our school. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Shi Hui. I graduated from AES with N level in 2014. I went to Higher NITEC and then Young Polytechnic, and I'm currently studying in NTU, major in mechanical engineering. My father is the sole breadwinner, and an accident made him jobless when I was in secondary 2. At that juncture, my brother was preparing for his O level, thus I took the initiative to assist my family and work at McDonald's. It's not easy as a freshman year in secondary 2 because an introvert. I did not share any of my difficulties with anyone nor seek for emotional support. I struggled with emotional distress as there were numerous challenges at home, at school, and at work. However, the teachers who believed in me and have high expectation on me noticed some changes. They approached me and allowed me to open up. They also gave me some advice to help me cope. I would say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Although these challenges may seem tragic, but it has made me who am I today. In life, we'll face many challenges. We should never give up, although we can take a break. I have received many helping hands in the process of growing up. Thus, in return, we should always provide a helping hand to those who need it. Never give up. Success comes from failure. You should always believe that you are stronger than who you think you are. We should always strive to improve ourselves and be a better, stronger version of ourselves. Be proud of yourself and stay strong always. Hi, my name is Shi Hui. I graduated from AES with N level in 2014. I went to Higher NITEC and Young Polytechnic, and I'm currently studying in NTU, major in mechanical engineering. My father is the sole breadwinner, and an accident made him jobless when I was in secondary 2. At that juncture, my brother was preparing for his O level, thus I took the initiative to assist my family and work at McDonald's. It was not easy as it was my streaming year in secondary 2. Because I was an introvert, I did not share any of my difficulties with anyone nor seek for emotional support. I struggled with emotional distress as there were numerous challenges at home, at school, and at work. However, the teachers who believed in me and have high expectation on me noticed some changes. They approached me and allowed me to open up. They also gave me sound advice to help me cope. I would say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Although these challenges may seem tragic, but it has made me who am I today. There's many challenges. We should never give up, although we can take a break. I have received many helping hands in the process of growing up. Thus, in return, we should always provide a helping hand to those who need it. Never give up because success comes from failure. You should always believe that you are stronger than who you think you are. We should always strive to improve ourselves and be a better, stronger version of ourselves. Be proud of yourself and stay strong always.
Kaylin and this is Atika.
Hi.
Is this your first time on our campus?
Yes, it is. It looks very big.
Come, we'll show you around, but before that, please take your temperature and do the safe scan. Welcome to our school library. Please write your name down and send us your hands.
Don't worry, I have it to write a name.
What we really love about our school library is the space. The tables, chairs, and air conditioning create the perfect environment for many of us to study in after school.
Totally. Some even have lessons and consultation with teachers here. Wow, that's nice. It's so spacious. There are even couches here. I look forward to studying here with my friends after school. Yup, there's a wide range of books of different genres in this library. Inside we have newspapers and magazines.
Welcome to the ASE cabin. ASE stands for After School Engagement. Here, students can come and take a break from studying to play games and bond with each other.
There are workshops conducted here from 10 to 5 for the students to learn new skills.
Hey, there's Jason. Let's go see why.
Welcome to our AES soccer field. Do you know the under 15 national football team actually trains on this very field each week?
Yes, because of our field, we've enjoyed many activities here as a school.
Do you remember last year? We had water soccer and the Assumptionites challenge that ended off with the slide down the inflatable castle.
Yeah, I had so much fun with my classmates splashing around. Remember when our teachers joined us in the Assumption Night Challenge as well? Great bonding time with them too.
And of course, besides the school activities, our soccer and softball CCA sessions are also conducted here.
Also offers judo as a CCA. And we even have a special room called the dojo for the judokas to train in.
A very warm welcome to the dojo. Our training may be tough, but that's what makes us judokas all the more stronger. I appreciate how we would cheer one another up when some parts of the training seem difficult. That often gives me the motivation to continue pushing on. So let's take a look at how we train.
Let's go, Johnson!
Let me show you another relaxing spot around school. These are the counseling rooms. Hi, Mr. Chan.
Oh, hello there. What are you up to?
We're currently bringing our new friend around school.
Oh, hi. If you know someone who is going through a rough patch and need a listening ear, feel free to drop by my office.
Mr. Chen is our school counselor. In AES, we have 2 school counselors, an allied educator for learning and behavioral support, and a student welfare officer. All of them are very approachable. We are really fortunate to have Mr. Chen in our school.
Oh, you're welcome. And feel free to drop by if you want to.
Sure, we will. We'll catch up with you later.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.